Welcome back to RNT Fitness Radio. I hope you guys are having an awesome week and that you've enjoyed the previous few episodes that we've put out. This week, we're doing something completely different that we haven't done before, in that Akash and I decided to get the whole of Team RNT on the line for the podcast. So today you've got myself, Adam, you've got Akash, we've got Ben, we have Nathan, and we have Kunal. So all five of us talking through the biggest mistakes that we see with fat loss. So if you're about to kind of try and put the finishing touches on your summer transformation, or even if you're just kickstarting the transformation, we cover, issues that each of us deal with on a daily basis with clients, and we give the first-hand advice as to how to remedy it so that you can get the best transformation possible. So I really think that this one is quite a cool episode, a little bit unique. You get all of our insights, and there's some humor thrown in there. Akash completely loses track of what he's saying, which is a first. Nathan managed to completely throw him, so that had us sort of laughing away. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. Any questions that you have afterwards, if you like what we did with this one, and you have other topics that you would like us to do like a mini roundtable on, then please just reach out, drop either Akash or I a DM through Instagram, or just email us, which is at info@rntfitness.co.uk. And if you just drop us a line with the subject title podcast, and then inside the body of the email, let us know what subjects you would like us to talk about in future. We can put that together, we can make it happen, we can give you a shout out and a mention, and make sure that we cover the topics that you want to hear about. I'll stop rambling now, I'll let you get straight into it. As always, I hope you enjoy, I hope you can take away a lot of value from this, and fingers crossed, information that you can apply literally by the end of today. This week, we've got all of the team on the line. We've got Nathan, we've got Kunal, we've got Ben, Akash and I, and we're going to discuss sort of the most common mistakes that we see amongst people endeavoring on fat loss phases and just general body composition transformations. So let's kick it off with Ben. Let's go into you. What do you see that's most common? Where do people go wrong? What can we do? What can we do to rectify it? What are your sort of tips?
Okay, cool. So I was just wanting to discuss goal setting, realistic goals, aiming big, and timeframes. So we get the two scenarios. We've got the people who set a goal that's far too big, unrealistic, and I want to lose, let's say, like 50 pounds of fat in 12 weeks. And it's just one of those where you're like, this is not going to happen. Let's reassess and give you something a lot more manageable and realistic, basically. And then we have the people who come in and they'll say, oh, I just want to lose a really small amount of weight. And it's such a small goal that's hardly inspiring or challenging. And it's where we need to jump in and say, right, let's aim a bit bigger and have you really up for this and actually put some effort into it. So I'm sure you guys have had that a few times where you've had to manage the person's expectations in either way, whether it's too big or too low of a goal.
Yeah, I've actually got the latter at the moment. Obviously, I'm not going to name her, but there's a client that she signed up and she's happy with how she looks. Sort of. Yeah. She sort of says she wants to, tone up a little bit, and I'm like, I've been trying to set some real goals, and then she'll do like 2 weight training sessions, or she'll deviate a little bit on the diet, but it's a tough one. You're kind of like, why are you?
Why are you doing it?
Why are you doing this?
And it goes back to a thing we always discuss, like what's your why? But once you've got that, it's got to be big enough that you actually are going to feel challenged and going to do something with it, not just, oh, I want to lose 2 pounds. Like, you can do that in the first week or two, no problem. But what's more inspiring to you? What's your actual big end goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people actually they put such short targets on themselves because they're so afraid to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And that, with themselves, they don't want to put a target and then just feel like a loser, or they didn't achieve another target within their life, and obviously finding out the reason why, and then going a bit deeper into the stuff about maybe that they failed before and that they're scared to fail again is obviously a very, very powerful tool in terms of that sense.
Yeah. And I guess what you're saying as well, that kind of bridges, it's all good having like mini goals and saying, oh, in this block of fat loss, I'd like to lose X amount, or this one, that amount. But it's more like what you're saying, Nick, is people are so scared of setting any kind of bigger goal that they're not actually pushing themselves at all. It's all really, really comfortable. And it's hardly something you get like really geared up for.
Yeah.
And for the clients who set too big a goal, how do you go about making it more realistic for them?
Well, yeah, I think really we should put it into like kind of like a scenario. I mean,
yeah, good.
We obviously produce really, really spectacular results, yeah, and we know we can get some crazy fat loss, but it's more like when you've got somebody who's a city worker, hasn't got any time, and they're like 50 plus pounds above the weight they need to be, and they want to be photo shoot ready. You're like, okay, we can do great things, but in 12 weeks, have you looking, photo shoot ready and lose 50 pounds of weight and give you abs and you've never trained before? That's the kind of stuff where we go be like, all right, what's realistic for you? We can do some really, really good work. We can get you to lose a lot of fat, but be realistic. You're probably going to need the extra 3 months to get to that ab photo shoot look that you want.
Yeah, I think it's important for everyone to understand where they are in their journey right now, and that everyone's journey will take a different time frame. So not everyone's going to take 3 months. Some people are going to be 6 months. Some are going to be 8 months, 10 months. As long as you get to the end result, which will happen, the time it takes you is going to be so individual on your genetics, on your muscle mass, on how long you've been training, what you've done in the past. But if you're someone, like Ben just said, who's pretty new to it, and wants to have a six-pack in 3 months, but they've got 50 pounds to lose, you might have to reassess the goal and set a more realistic time frame.
Yeah,
I mean, I think social media plays a part as well in terms of how you want to look.
100%.
So if you see like someone, I want to
get,
like you see a before and after picture, and then you see 12 weeks, they want to do the same thing. Like I showed Akash's picture to one of this guy in the gym, the before and after, and he was like, oh, I want to do that. I was like, yeah, but he's been training for X amount of years. And
so this is the thing, they don't see that. People, the ones who've been training for a while before, they don't see that the amount of muscle mass they have underneath allows them to make quick, fast transformations. If you haven't got the muscle mass, you're not going to get a 3-month transformation. Those only typically come with either if you've got amazing genetics, or in more common cases, they've got a good level of training experience and they've laid down the foundation of muscle mass in the past.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah. And sometimes you can't even see that on the before pictures because they're detrained.
Well, this is the thing. Yeah. So I remember Adams showed my before and after to, who was it? Nick, one of your clients, right?
I think it was Nick.
And he said, Akash never trained before.
That's the thing.
This is the latest one, by the way.
Yeah, it's not even the first one.
This was like this last year's.
And what was your response?
I said to him, this is the hardest that he's trained. Like, the guy has been so meticulous. We all know how Akash is, right? It's like every box gets ticked every single day towards this one goal. Like he's been on it, and Nick was like, oh, he's like, really, I thought he just stopped training for like 6 months. I'm like, no, this is him at the peak of his off season.
But I was only able to get the after picture because of the amount of muscle mass I'd accumulate underneath all the body fat. But because, like Nathan said, when you've got that much body fat, sometimes it just makes you look skinny fat that you've never trained before, right?
Mm. Yeah, until you get like the dudes that are jacked and carrying a lot of muscle, with a chunk of body fat, then they just look like big fucking thick dudes, right? And then that they're going to get a transformation. But sometimes you get those creepers that, like Akash's one, where you'd look at it and you'd be like, there's not a lot of muscle there. When he peels off the layers, suddenly, so the before pictures can definitely be deceiving.
Yeah.
So like Sham, for example, as well.
Yeah.
Sham's transformation, a lot of people they see that 12 week, or however long it was, sorry. And
50
15, yeah. And they think they're going to do that in 15 weeks. And it's like, no, that's his, second or third diet.
Yeah, I mean, one guy said to me today, the Rishi's one yesterday, they said, I take it he's got a lot of muscle memory. I was like, no, he just had a lot of body fat over the muscle mass that he'd accumulated, right?
Yeah.
It's weird because I always write that they've been training consistently, but people just see past it. Right?
Yeah, you want to read the bits,
and they only see the after.
They're going to scroll straight to the supplement section. That's the bit they're interested in. Yeah. Okay, Kunal?
Yeah, so that was a good segue there with supplements. I would say a lot of people prioritize supplement over like proper training and nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, coming from like a supplementation background, where I worked with different people.
Just for listeners out there, where did you work previously?
So at Holland Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you've been plagued by people coming in wanting that quick fix.
Yeah. So
still get discount.
I guess. Yeah. Why not? So they basically would just come in and be like, "Yeah, I want this fat loss pill," and you'd be like, "All right, what's your diet? What's your nutrition?" Like, I'm not training. I just think this will help me. And you're like, "Why waste £30?" And they would just. Once you told them that, they'll still buy it. I'm like, wow, okay, fair enough. Go ahead, waste your money. One lady actually broke down when we didn't have CLA.
You kidding?
What? Really?
She broke down like fully, like she was about to have like a panic attack. I was like, "You're right," and she was like, "Yeah, it's just you guys don't have CLA."
I can understand if it was like clenbuterol or something.
It doesn't even work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I told her it doesn't work. I'm not like, she was like, "I don't want to hear that." It's just
really
telling me that. She said, "You shouldn't be telling me that. You should be trying to sell me this." I'm like,
oh wow.
Yeah, it was
yeah, I mean, I used to work in a supplement shop as well, and so I know what he's talking about. You get these people that they're regulars; they come every week, and buy the same thing.
I had one dude buy like £80 worth of stuff every week.
Yeah,
L-arginine and things like that, and I'm like, "Why do you need this? Do you train?" He's like, "No, I don't train. It's just for health." And you ask about his nutrition and diet. He's like, "Yeah, I eat 3 times a day, good 3 meals, and then it's just the usual, bad meals basically."
So the take-home message here is that supplements are like the cherry on top of the cake.
Yeah, exactly.
You need the foundations. Get your nutrition in place. Get your training in place. Get your exercise, your activity outside of the gym in place. And then supplements can make that 2 to 3% difference and give you that advantage. The right supplements at the right time.
We still provide supplements and tell you, "Yeah, take this one. But again, the priority is nutrition and training.
Yeah.
Once that's set, then work.
The supplements are an addition.
Yeah, and the supplements we do give are very, very basic and minimal. Exactly. I mean, it's things like whey protein, D3, creatine. But there's never any of the fancy things that you were talking about, CLA, arginine.
People wanted kale tablets and
green
tea extract.
Green tea extract, maca root, things like that.
Wow. Oh man, I feel lucky that I kind of managed to avoid that side of things with the supplements too much.
Yeah, it's just that's what they just see though. That's the segue from Instagram down to people selling it, and unfortunately, this is what the market is going down. It's not even going down the likes of actual training and actual cardio and putting in the work. And
especially with like ladies now with Instagram, they sell fit tea, boot tea, all that stuff.
Which the basic primary ingredient in that is senna extract, right?
Exactly. So you have everyone else come in. All the ladies, young girls come in. Can I get this? I've seen the latest Insta model have this.
Really?
All the time. And I'm like, do your research and just come back later. You don't need this. So they get a lot of pressure from that situation. Guys is a bit different. They're more into just what whey protein is the best for you or things like that.
Yeah.
Which mass gainer shall I buy? Yeah. Which one on the most?
Been there, done that.
Basically.
Been there, done that. Nathan?
My mistake is using only one metric of fat loss. So whether it's the scales, whether it's BMI, whether it's your clothes fitting, using only one. Because as we know, as you go through the period of dieting, but for those that are dieting, various lifestyle factors and just fluctuations in weight can kind of make your progress look like you're not progressing, or it'll look like you're stalling. And what people do is that they'll see that at the first hurdle, and then they'll either think, the fuck it moment that this is not working, and probably go to Kunal and buy some supplements. Or they'll just their adherence will go on their diet because they're not thinking that it's working. And, you know, that's just a metric. That's just one measure of whether a diet is working. And unfortunately, every one of them have got pros and cons.
And don't you think as well, when you've got like that one metric and you've lost to it, basically, let's say your scale weight, it's gone up for one or 2 days, and you're not in a position where you've got a coach, you freak the fuck out and you're like, oh my God, I'm gaining weight on my 1200 calorie diet. No, just wait. You just need a calm head next to you, just saying, do this, do that, ride it out, and wait for that drop because it's coming.
That's what I do half the time with my clients. You know, when they panic that their body weight's gone up, I'll typically just say to them, okay, ignore, you know, say they're checking on a Friday. Friday's their weekly check-in day. I'll say to them, okay, drop me another check-in on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Chances are the weight's always gone down. It's just that fluctuation. They just needed a couple of days to just ride it out. And then you'll get that email come like Sunday, Monday, and it'll be, oh my God, you're a genius. Like, yeah, I know.
I had a client panic today because he lost 1.3 kg, but he doesn't have abs yet. So he was panicking.
Well, this goes back to what Ben said earlier, right?
Yeah.
Making realistic expectations at the beginning and during the process.
Yeah, definitely.
And with the metric thing, this is where the real benefit of having a coach comes into play, because they can assess all the different data. they can assess all the different data and provide objective feedback. For the listeners here, Nathan's making funny faces in the camera. They can provide objective data and objective feedback and provide the realistic.
He's killed you. He's absolutely killed you.
Oh man!
I think what he's getting at is accountability. Oh man!
Kunal's just sipping on his tea, staying out of it.
It's green tea.
Green tea. I'm going to be selling.
Basically, it's the accountability of having a coach and being able to make those calls for you, but also being able to rationalize why those things are going up or down.
I like how you just rescued it.
Yeah, it's fine. Well,
Akash is still composing himself.
Yeah, I destroyed it, so I might as well go with it. But I think also is that you have to consider the lifestyle factors that we have to those metrics that we have. I know we're going to move on, but I think it's very important to, even if we do have 3 or 4 metrics like our clients do, they still panic over one of them, and it's just getting rid of that thought process around using all 4 or 3 or 4 different metrics. And if one of them is going down, then you're winning. It doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter whether that you perceive that is good or bad. One metric will tell you whether you're on the right path or not. Either way around.
Which metrics are you using?
Using scale weight, circumference measurements, pictures, gym progression, and then the subjective stuff like mood,
clothes, and things like that.
Everything like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, cool. My mistake would probably be program hopping. So I've talked about this a lot before, but basically jumping.
That's an understatement.
You can't maybe laugh again.
So
jumping from program to program, never really sticking to one path for long enough to be able to get the results that you need to see from it. So with your training, 1 month you might be doing one program, the next month you see something that looks good on the internet and then go towards that. But I think the biggest mistake that I'm trying to get to here is that if you can apply consistency in your training and your diet, you'll allow the results to come through over time. And and again, this is where
we're all being serious this time. We're hanging on to every word that you're saying.
This is where go on, Adam. You go, and I'll finish you off.
He's completely gone. All right.
For people that don't know Akash, this is really funny because he's the most composed guy out there.
Yeah, he's thrown. You guys,
when it comes to it, this is not the time I need to be composed.
All right, I'll carry the torch for now then. So one mistake that I think a lot of people make is outside of those, if you're listening to this, outside of those that are doing, say, competition preps or short deadline based, like photo shoot preps, that sort of thing, I think trying to chase perfection instead of just improving where you're at is huge. So, what you got to bear in mind is, like, the five of us talking. I had to actually count individual screens. Then, just think, was there five? Yeah, there's five. The five of us. This is our job. It's our lifestyle. So for us, when we switch diet mode on, it's easy to nail our macros daily. It's easy to hit 10,000 plus steps. It's easy to get into the gym 4 times a week, 5 times a week, or whatever. It's easy to remember to take all of our supplements. But for somebody new, where they're new to this, expecting yourself, trying to speak to the listener here, to be able to nail every single avenue of that from week 1 you're putting too much stress on yourself. So, if at the moment you're averaging 2,000 steps a day, and then we set you a goal of, say, 8,000, and you hit 8,000 5 days of the week, and you drop off a little bit 2 days of the week, within the first couple of weeks, it's fine. It's still a progression. As long as then the following week you improve upon that, and then you improve upon it the next week. And, within hopefully 4 to 6 weeks, you're nailing your 10K steps per day or whatever. Same with the nutrition side of things. Now, it's our goal, and the reason that we get the transformations that we do is when our clients nail their nutrition 100%. That's the dream scenario. The problems occur when you get clients that have one small deviation on the diet that in the real world won't translate to much, but then they tell themselves, that's it, I fucked it. And then they write the whole diet off for the rest of the day, or then they give up on their steps, or then they don't bother taking their supplements because they think that because they've screwed up potentially one small element of it, the whole thing's a waste of time. That's where I see people going wrong, is they derail their own progress because they berate themselves for making one small thing, whereas it's like, okay, you screwed up there, own it, move on, make sure the rest of your ducks are in a row.
Would you say that happens a lot during the mid part of the transformation, especially?
I'd say
is it very?
No. I'd say the midpoint is more motivation. We can come on to that in a second. I'd say this is more the general population client that is relatively new to it, and it's in their first 6 weeks. It's almost like make or break.
Yeah. And
that's where, we've spoken before about keeping like the supplement recommendations nice and simple. For example, if you go and recommend a client 7, 8, 9 different supplements from day one, and they forget to take 2 of them, they feel like a failure. And then that kind of has carryover to their nutrition. Oh, I forgot to take my vitamin D3 today, therefore my diet's screwed. Therefore, what's the point in going to train? And it becomes like a bit of a downward spiral. My point here is, take your start point into consideration, beat it each week, work with us. Of course, you make our jobs easier if you nail it 100% from day one, but don't hit 95% and then go screw the rest of it up for the sake of it. Chalk it down, own it, move on.
I think that's where a coach comes in pretty well. That's good support. If someone panics, you always have a coach in hand. Quick email, text, and that's where you have help, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And the coach can play it client to client. So if I've got a contest prep client who at 3 weeks out, they tell me that they've cheated or they binged or something, I'm going to fucking go mad at them because they're going to be stood on stage in their underwear representing me. But then by the same token, I had a guy yesterday who we've been working together for 14 weeks at this stage, and every single check-in has been perfect. No issues at all. He's nailed it. Really good guy. And then this week, he had some personal issues go on, which affected him psychologically, killed his appetite, couldn't get his calories in. His goal was muscle growth, by the way. Couldn't get his calories in. And at the bottom of his email, he's like, I massively feel like I've let you down. I've let myself down. I fucked it. So that's where you take the opposite approach of, okay, he's not on a time-sensitive goal. 14 out of 14 check-ins have been great. This is the first one at week 15 because of these issues. So rather than give him that, the bollocking that I would have given if it was like a competitor a few weeks out, it's more a case of, look, dude, just take the weekend off, chill, get your personal shit sorted, and then let's hit it hard again next week. You haven't let me down at all.
Yeah, for me, like I've probably talking about the general public and that type of mind frame, I've probably never had many people that have been a full 100%, that general population that are not trainers or anyone like that. Like, everyone makes mistakes, everyone does, deviate from the plan, but it's the ability to be able to get back on the plan and recognize that it wasn't a total failure. You don't need to cancel your package, or you have to stop training with a trainer because you went off by 500 calories. It's just a case of that you need to realign or reassess and get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, and if possible, question why it happened, so you don't make that same mistake again.
Yeah, there's always a reason why.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are, say you do have a 500 calorie excess one day, chalk it down, move on. As we said, don't dwell on it, but don't go do the same fucking thing again next week.
Every day.
I've got a good example of that, actually, if you want one. I've got a female client who always was, maybe every 3 weeks she'd have a little bit of a dip due to the menstrual cycle, every 4 weeks due to the menstrual cycle. And basically, after a while, we realized that she was making a little bit of a mistake and then getting back on, a little bit of a mistake and back on, but she was really beating herself up about it. Mm-hmm. So when she told me about all these things, and I only made a small change, I didn't change the calories at all. All I did was just change how much food she had on different days. And instead of her beating herself up about it, she ate the more calories on the day that we chose, and she dropped more weight the week after. And she's less stressed, less psychologically, stressing upon herself or blaming herself. So, you can just assess it when your coach is there as well.
Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of personalized one-to-one coaching, eh?
Oh, you're back in the room. Yeah, exactly. Did you want to go back to what you were trying?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was talking about programming, but I think, I've spoken about that a lot before, but a better one we can maybe talk about is, the motivation aspect of when you're in that middle of the transformation. And, when clients jump into it with no real reason as to why they're doing it, they're going to find that middle bit really tough. So if they can establish why they want to transform their body, why they want to take it to that next level, then it's going to allow them to push through the harder, kind of darker periods of a transformation period, of a transformation process a lot easier, and be able to get to that point where, in the last 4 weeks when everything comes together, they're on track.
Yeah, it's huge. If she's listening to this, Jane, my client Jane, she's doing a show in 5 weeks. I said to her, she's got through the hardest bit. This bit now in 5 weeks, that's easy. And this applies to everyone doing a transformation. As Akash has said, that middle ground is the toughest. So it's like a bell curve, typically, in terms of psychology, motivation.
The dip.
Yeah. So it's like you start off and you have that novelty, right? You're motivated. You just signed up to your package. You've just got your plans. It's actually kind of exciting. It's hard work physically, but mentally, this is the exciting stage. And if we fast forward to the end of it, now you're seeing changes almost daily. You're getting compliments from people and so on. So it's like the beginning and the end is when motivation is super high, but it's that middle ground. So if someone was on, say they're doing a 6 month package, the first 6 to 8 weeks is easy. It's that kind of middle, like 12 weeks that is tough, because that initial motivation and excitement has kind of gone, and you're not quite where you want to be yet. So you feel like you're putting in all this work and all this time and effort for nothing. But it's this stage that sets you up perfectly for the end.
Which is why you need the why, and you need to create a big level of accountability. Have a deadline, have an incentive to go through it. Otherwise, you're going to end up kind of just spinning your wheels and not being able to, actually achieve what you want to achieve. Yeah. I mean, I had a client, the photo shoot I had last week with the guy called Ads. He dropped 35 kilos, and in that period you were just mentioning, the 4 to 8 week, in the 6 to 8 weeks away from his photo shoot, he kept saying to me, "I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm going to make it." But he kept pushing through that bit, and then in the last 4 weeks, his body fat just kept flying off, right? And then especially in the last 2 weeks, like it was daily, he was losing so much. He was losing body fat daily, and I said to him, it's called something called a gathered momentum. I think your body really starts kicking to a new gear once you've racked up those months and months of consistency, and then it just starts firing on all cylinders, and everything kind of comes together at once.
Well, this is exactly what has just happened to Jane.
Yeah.
So as soon as I walked in, she also trains, she lives in Crawley. So I just walked into the gym the other day and I saw her and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, you look so different. And she said it's literally just been the last like 3 weeks. She had to request a new uniform at work. And then 2.5 weeks later, she's had to request another one. Because it's just, we've been working together now for about 3.5, 4 months. It was coming up at a good rate. But now, as you mentioned, this gathered momentum has just suddenly gone into overdrive, and now it's just falling off of her.
Yeah, I mean, if you can plug through that difficult period and just keep ticking all the boxes, you're going to reap the rewards afterwards, right? And your body will just come in, everything will just start flying off.
So yeah, so the take home here for people listening to this is, if you set yourself, a 12, 16, 20-week transformation goal, when you hit that 10-week, 11-week mark, where the monotony kicks in, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Just keep going, because it's worth it when you come out the other side, and when you start noticing those differences, and you suddenly walk into somewhere and somebody goes, shit, you look great.
It's hard for the client to see it, but we can always see it, right? We know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
we know the process, don't we? That's
exactly. We know the process, and our job is to instill belief in that these people can push through this dip and be able to come out on the other side with the results that they deserve, right?
Definitely. Yeah. So you guys, Ben, Kunal, and Nathan, do you have anything else to add at all?
In terms of ads, what Akash said, I was at the shoot as well, and I remember when Ben gave him like, "Hey, look back on the photos," and you just see it in his face. He's like, "Wow, can't believe this is me." And I think he even mentioned Akash. He was like, "Yeah, I still see myself as like a fat kid." And then when he sees the photos, he's got abs, he's shredded, and you could just see the shock in his face, and it's quite powerful as well.
It's hard though, isn't it? Especially when you identify yourself as that's your personality. You yourself as, I'm the fat kid, even when you're shredded, basically in the shape of your life. It's kind of like becoming that new person now that you are in that shape.
Persona.
Yeah,
exactly. Anything else, Nathan, Ben? You want to add?
I think with any mistake, regardless of what we've talked about, or even any other mistake that anyone can think about when dieting, it always come back to consistency, time, and if you don't know the answer to a question, go and seek advice. Because simply it's a case of that you would do it if it was an accountant, you would do it if it was someone else, but in this industry a lot of people think they can do it themselves, but actually some help and some guidance will push you in the right way more than you think.
And that's the perfect way to end it.
Happy with that?
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you guys for taking time out of your day to sit and record this with us. How do we wrap this one up?
Akash will wrap it up.
No pressure.
Okay, so we've got quite a few of you here. You can follow us on Instagram at RNT_fitness. You can follow Adam at Adam Haley1, Nathan at Nathan Johnson with 2 N's at the end, or at Kunal Makwana, or at BM Personal Training for Ben.
How the hell do you remember all of these?
That's impressive.
I struggle to remember mine.
He's got a Word document, let's not be fooled.
For content, you can visit www.rntfitness.co.uk or .com. Also, check out our YouTube channel. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please hit subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you.
Sponsored by Holland and Barrett.
Let's just finish that on a real note, actually, just to keep them happy. If you do need supplements, while we're on the supplement subject, not that we're trying to sell you anything, but the next time you do need supplements, just hit up Cardiff Sports Nutrition and check out RNT10 for 10% off your order and free delivery.